Hey y'all, welcome to 2024. I hope you've had a great New Year's Eve and a great New Year's Day. I know that by the time I release this video, it'll be well after the new year, but I've had horrible sickness, whatever this influenza, COVID, RSV thing is going around. Like, I've seemed to have gotten it and my voice is still a little shot. So if you can hear it in the background, that's what's going on. My voice just is not doing good. But let's go into what how I'm setting up my bullet journal for 2024. This year I wanted to do some more artsy applications. Normally I've stuck with trying to do just one thing, like just watercolor last year, or just try to do like marker colors and stuff like that. This year I want to do a little bit of everything as I'm diving more into being a crafty person. I just want to do all the techniques. So right here you see me using distressed oxide, trying to get that honeycomb look with a stencil, and I'm going to use my Tombow marker to color in 2024 after I stamped it in with a clear stamp. Now these stamps I got a long time ago from Michael's, like when I first started doing crafting and stuff like that, and the only time I use it is in the beginning of the year, and that's if I use it, because I haven't used it every single year since I've been bullet journaling. So I mean, I guess it was a useful stamp set, but I will say, like, they're really soft, so sometimes it's like this stuff is like what you stamp, or the impression of what you stamp doesn't come out the best, but it is what it is. So now I'm going over to my word of the year. At this point I really still haven't chosen a word of the year. I feel like something will pop out of my head, like, and I wouldn't feel pressure if you don't come up with the word of the year every year. Sometimes you just don't have one, but I know I'm going to. So here's a close-up of what I've done. A little bit of washi, and that came from a set that I also got from Michael's. Now let's go on to the next page. So here's another stamp set. This one I got from Joann's, and again, I bought this a while ago and never used it. So that's something else, and that's why you see me using an eraser on the back of it. A lot of times when you first use a stamp set, it doesn't pick up the ink very well, and you can kind of see that there. So what you want to do is you want to kind of texturize the surface of the stamp, and a good eraser will do that for you. An eraser, or if you want to keep stamping it against the page until the stick is gone, that can help, and it will definitely help you lay down the ink a little bit better. This is another Hampton Art stamp set, and that's what you see. This is the first time I'm using that one, which is why you see me tamping it down, trying to get that little stick off of it so it picks up the ink a little bit better. So I'm setting up my goal spread. This one I'm going to make very, I guess I'm not going to have a whole lot of stuff up here. I just have a couple of leaves and this one flower. I'm not going to put a whole lot of stuff in this just because I want to have a lot of goals that I actually try to go for. And on this one, typically I wouldn't need 2 pages for a goal page, but I want to actually write out the goals. A lot of times I feel like we don't reach our goals because we don't plan out the small steps to reach that goal. So if your goal is, for example, you want to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, what are the small things that you are going to do to get there? Are you going to do intermittent fasting? Are you going to eat better? What does eating better mean? We don't dive into these things enough. We just say, here's the goal, and hope, wish, and pray that we get there. And that's not enough in 2024. It really isn't. What you see me doing here is, like I said, when you have a brand new stamp set, the ink doesn't always pick up very well. And this is also watercolor paper. Like, my plan this year was to do watercoloring. So you see me going back and darkening everything with my Fuden Nasuke pen. I think that's how you say it. Right now I am working on my future log. I realized that I probably could have cut these a little bit better and they would have looked a little bit better, but it's my first time setting up my future log like this. I really didn't plan out how that was going to look. So as you can see, the part that I wanted to show every month as I was looking was my future is now. When I was a kid, I always felt like I was supposed to do something with my life. I mean, I'm pretty sure almost everybody feels that way, but I always feel like I was supposed to do something. I never really figured out what that was, but I always felt like it was there. So for me this year, what I'm telling myself is It is now. Whatever it was that I felt like I was supposed to be when I was a kid, that time is now. Right now is my time to make me whatever I was supposed to be. So if it happens this year, next year, whatever it is, but I'm holding myself accountable to the fact that whatever it is that I wanted to be when I was a kid, or whatever important it is now. So what you see me doing here now is using embossing powder for the months for each one of those future log dates. My kids mixed my gold and my white, so I wanted to see what it would look like if I were to actually use it. I don't like it at all. I did not like it at all. I threw it away immediately after. Right now, you see me doing my 24 things in 2024. I haven't figured out what all 24 of my things are going to be, but I do know a few of them. Like, I want to read a couple of books. I haven't read for pleasure in a while, and I want to get back into that. I probably will have some like watercolor things up there. I'll probably have I do want to go see a show. Oh my goodness, I want to go to the Go Create planner thing in Texas. I found out about it not too long ago, and I want to go. The only thing about it is the tickets cost $800, and you still gotta get to Texas, and you still gotta buy a hotel room. So while I would love to go this year, I might just have to settle for going next year and saving up my little coins. So we'll see. But I do want to put travel on one of my 24. I think it's important to experience other places and other ways of being that aren't just within your hometown. So I've always wanted to do some kind of traveling. I just never really had the gumption to do it, and I'm gonna start doing it. I've been doing it for the past couple of years, and it's been nice. So what you see me doing for this spread is I am just putting a bunch of little potted plants off to the side. I have a little Google search of different plants, and I'm trying my best to draw them. I'm not gonna draw a plant in each one, but what I'm going to do is kind of watercolor in some of the blocks. Watercolor in some of the blocks that don't have a plant in them, and just have a nice little decoration for this. I think it'll look nice in all these different color greens that I'm using. And then I guess if you haven't kind of seen what I'm going for this year, it was more of a garden theme. A garden theme, a green theme. Overall this year I'm feeling growth, but not just growth. That's not the only thing that means to me. For me, it is comfort. One of the things that I shared with my dad before he passed away was gardening. And I remember getting up early in the morning and getting up with him in the daytime to go help him in his garden. So planting and greenery have always been places of refuge for me, and that's what this means for me. So will my word of the year somehow involve that? Maybe. We'll see. But honestly, that was supposed to have been my theme for this year, and also it'll probably be my theme for January, because I was really feeling it. I'm not really ready to let it go. Okay, so now we're going to my next spread. This will probably be my last spread for the year, or at least for the year part of my planner. This spread is going to be the one where I plan out each one of my themes for each month. I don't normally do this. A lot of times my themes I watch YouTube and I get inspiration from other people, or I will, see something on social media that kind of sparks something. I don't really think about it, and I find that that's why I get to be so last minute with my planner, and then sometimes I just don't get some stuff planned. So I figured I'm going to be more intentional about it this year. So I'm also, I don't know if any of you know this, but I also own my own business as a digital marketer. So my specialty is copywriting. So one of the things that I do for new customers is creating a brand guide. And so within my brand guide, I'm not like the artsy side of the branding. I am the storytelling side of the branding. I am your copywriter, your SEO strategist. I am your content strategist. So a lot of times what we do is we pretty much come up with your story. We create that brand vision. When you go on Instagram Live, or when you go on the news, we pretty much coach you on what it is that you're going to say. What are you all about? Of course, you already know these things, but me, I help you get those words together. I help you set your intentions so that you can come across the way that you want to, so that you can sell your business and get along with your target audience. So I'm setting up each one of these to kind of look like my brand guide, or at least the front part of a brand guide. So it'll be the color swatches and cell phones, so that I can put it down whatever the theme of the month is going to be. So for example, if for January plants, that first one will probably be like a bunch of plants or something like that. Just something nice and cute. But don't think about it too much. It's just art. Speaking of it just being art, I feel like with these colors that I'm using, I am using different shades of black, or maybe different shades of gray. Yeah, I think these are all the gray stick scale markers from Tombow. So I used one of the lighter grays to make the little button at the bottom, and then one of the darker grays to actually color the phones in. One thing that I'm realizing is all black ain't the same black when it comes to art. You can use different colors, different shades of gray, different shades of gray to make it look like black. And that's something I've been experimenting with as well. Also, all phones aren't black. So I thought about that part way through this and was like, yeah, color the phone some different other colors. So yeah, here's my affirmation for January. When I do my January plan with me, I'll probably be using that one, but it comes from work. Okay, so here's a flip through. This is what everything winds up looking like. Very Spartan on this side. Very Spartan in general. I might color some more stuff in as the year goes on, just depending on how I feel about it. I think this is my favorite page. And it could be the phones, I'm not sure. But you tell me which one are your favorites. What are your goals and intentions for 2024? Like, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be here and I'll create more content. Bye, y'all.